Emily, thank you so very much. And also thank you to everybody for all of the caring, the generosity, the attention to detail and hospitality during the last few days. I was here in 2011 for the very first Handmade Assembly. And it's such an honor to have been invited back to reconnect with those of you who I met then for the first time. Amanda, you were about to be hired into your current position at Struts that was then held by John Murchie. And Emily, you were now just entering into your new position at the Owens that was held by Jenny Kelly. While this might not quite be the cycle of life that Kristen spoke about on Wednesday evening, it certainly speaks to evolution and to new lives. It seems to me that the streets of Sackville are spiffier today than they were on my last visit, and the eating and drinking options have developed quite a bit too, although not past 9 p.m. I learned. I'm still trying to figure out the new diagonal crossing pattern of the lights. Thank goodness I constantly encounter the friendly, unfamiliar to me, pedestrian auto etiquette. Happy to share that I now feel quite safe while moving through the middle of Main and Bridge, at least during the daytime. I've made some small notes for big ideas. I have my book with me. Small notes for big ideas and a special book that I purchased for this purpose while I was staying in the beautiful St. John River Valley town of Florenceville, Bristol, prior to coming to Sackville. Lots of things happening there, including activities at the Laura McCain Art Gallery and Riverside Art Center. And, as luck would have it, it is potato harvesting season over there. They are full of ideals and value and conflicting priorities, and they are full of differences. They are full of emotion. We heard of the inevitable decline of the body and our relationships to disposable paper towels, paper cups. In her seemingly absurd weaving of disposable paper cups, lined writing paper, and hand towels, Kristen says that she's only trying to be useful. I must say that I had a physical rush, or was it an emotional one, when I sipped water from her hand-woven, leaky disposable cup this morning. That was before I threw it away and turned my back on it because I couldn't stand what I had just done. I was complicit. Somewhere, someone wondered, how can objects contain experiences? Adriana suggests that the handmade can help us through moments of flux, and I paraphrase Robin, who suggests that what we do is all we have. Somebody else interjected with a maker's voice, once you touch it, it's yours. Yes, ideas of material culture are expanding. How do we talk about embodying a practice? How might a practice embody the maker, the user, the viewer? Material intelligence, literacy. A handmade assembly makes a place for respect for knowledge and experience that tugs at the implicit social meanings of everyday objects, actions, and interactions. Handwork is sometimes boring. Learning skills and figuring things out for ourselves is a common thread, and it was Lisa's grandmother's stash of fabrics that was the motherlode of material resources for the fabrication of her braided objects. Lisa says she is in discipline denial. I can do both, design work and conceptual work, she says. Another theme that emerges from Lisa's practice is the tension between perfection and imperfection. It might be physical, technique-based, but it might be color choices or decisions about scale or intent. Paige and Sam set out on a collaborative, creative quest to simultaneously learn how to make the best cowboy boots ever, but in the learning, to queer the traditions and expectations of this tried and true art form. No coincidence that they approached Diana McGuffin, a third-generation New Mexico bootmaker, to mentor them. The graphic iconography in their award-winning pair of boots isn't subtle, although it might be coded in its image choices, materiality, and color choices. The things you do when you don't realize what you are getting into. Handwork is hard work. The collaborative efforts of the Owens Art Gallery, Stratz Gallery, and Fawcett Media Arts Centre, and the Fine Arts Department of the Mount Allison University is a reminder of the pedagogical side of a handmade assembly. There is a constant and deliberate presence of learning, teaching, sharing, and mentorship through formal and informal means, structured and unstructured. This is embedded in this notion of hosting a group of makers and thinkers, putting us in the same space together, stirring us and shaking us and seeing what happens. A handmade assembly is now a national enterprise, even while perhaps a well-kept secret. The scale and intimacy of the project is somehow protected, it's preserved, and a finely tuned balance of interactions, of interpersonal potential is achieved. On the convergence of virtual and physical space, I'm struck by the number of mentions of eBay in particular, but the World Wide Web in general, as a research tool and a shopping mall. Chris ordered up some Lego that apparently needed his attention, and that key to the trunk of a muscle car. Robin needed bits and pieces for the repurposing of objects that comprise her exhibition Reliquary. The nose and belly of her clown were lit up with perfectly scaled tiny light bulbs that who knew existed, and feathers. I hope your auction brings you online bids, Robin. It's open until 10 o'clock tonight, by the way. Poetics. I've noted a profound commitment to discovery, wonder, and the fictionalization of objecthood. We participated in many conversations and presentations about the reliance on memory of a very personal sort. Hassan, Chris, and Graham are exploring boyhood through making things with paper, string, cloth, twigs, cast-off toys, wire, and glue. They are engaged with task-based practices that facilitate an iterative relationship to working things through, to organizing a deep connection to one's past, that form a path to a higher truth. Don't stop making this take place seriously. Don't stop confusing truth with fiction. The ideas that have been circulating here these last few days have engaged local landscapes of social and self-representation. We've seen that materials and processes are profoundly personal, yet curiously connected to shared experiences. Worn clothing, braiding recycled and natural materials, found objects, the weather, immigrant and emigrant experiences, indigenous identities, politics, and proximity to the rest of the world and to each other all contribute to this, as artists provide the touching experiences that lead us to build home, a psychic and physical place of belonging. In her remarks last night, Emily mentioned that there were, without question, magic moments in a handmade assembly in 2017. And I can attest that there were some in 2011, and again over these past few rich and challenging, fun-filled days. Taking a page out of Christie's approach to research, I share with you some key words that have recurred through the assembly. And I kid you not. Resuscitate, recuperate, recreate, reconstruct, reclaim, recall, resist, relearn, regenerate, reevaluate, represent, reproduce, reconnect. Thank you all and congratulations.